Good evening, everyone. Thank you for being here. As Lena mentioned, I am a part of the contest committee, which is part of the program quality director team led by Sarah Mayer. Today's training is all about the chief judge. I look at the chief judge as being the right arm, right hand of the contest chair, who is going to lead the contest, who's going to host the contest. And while the contest chair, I feel in my head, it's a clear distinction. The contest chair leads and kind of takes care of the contestants and the Zoom masters, and actual part of the hosting part of the contest is the chief judge, who does all of the other heavy lifting in the background, taking care of the functionaries, ensuring the timers, the ballot counters, the voting judges, everybody is doing all of their jobs well, ensuring that any small things that could go wrong is kind of handled gracefully so that the contest can go smoothly. So today we'll be sharing a lot of resources that we've got handed down for the last couple of years since we all went virtual. We've tweaked it a lot within our team just because we've learned so much in the last couple of years. And I feel like we all have something to add to make it even better every year. The things that I will be sharing with you today are the contest resources for the chief judge, but I'll also point out all of the other functionary contest resources, because as chief judge, you should know the ballot counter duties, the timers duties, the sergeant-at-arms duties, because they all come under your umbrella of the contest. And so you will be briefing them. So you pretty much need to know all of the different roles. So also attending the next couple of days is going to be fantastic. I know there will be recordings for the timer, the sergeant-at-arms, the ballot counter as well. I'm going to share my screen. All right. I hope everybody can see it. Lena, can you just nod? Yes. All right. All things related to contest, your starting point should be our District 3 website, which is the aztoastmasters.org. If you go to member resources and contest, this page, if you want to bookmark it, that would be awesome, aztoastmasters.org/contest. Everything related to the contest is updated here. It's a very active page. A lot of information gets updated as we get closer to the contest season. So keep an eye out for this page as much as possible. You'll see that the calendar is updated. If you scroll down, you have all of the dates for the different contests listed here, volunteer forms. The one that I really want to point out to you for this training is the resources section. You may take a moment to download the contest kit from the TI website, which is linked here. The rule book, if possible, print it out, keep it on your bedside, go through it, because as the chief judge, you really do need to know the rule book front and back. So if possible, go through the rule book as much as you can before the contest. And there's an FAQ on the TI website as well. Apart from this, D3, the contest committee as part of D3, that is our team, has curated a lot of resources for you, and that is linked over here. So I'm going to open that and right here. So in this, you will find we also have our resources from 21-22, 22-23, which are just there for archival purposes. We've collected all of that information and enhanced it in our 23-24 resources folder, which is for the upcoming contest season in 23-24. Here you will find all of the different functionaries listed out. So you have ballot counter, chief judge, contest chair. Everybody will have their own specific checklist and a document that helps them perform their duties smoothly. Let's look at the two folders that you will be really concerned about is the chief judge and the email scripts and template. And I'll tell you why. So let's go to the chief judge. You will find two PDFs here. One is a briefing checklist. So briefing is what you're going to use during the contest when you brief all of your functionaries. And the other is the checklist and notes for your own personal process of being a chief judge. So I think this is probably a good point to dive into your role as a chief judge. I was hoping I could zoom in, but I'm not. So I'm just going to open my document. I have the Word doc here for the same thing. The Chief Judge checklist and notes. Like I said, the first point here is for you to review the contest rule book. Specifically, there is a checklist, but then I have mentioned it, and I was wondering if I should put that down there, because I don't want you to just review that page, but review everything in the contest rule book as much as possible. Meet with the contest chair to discuss the contest flow in detail. Like I said, you are the right arm for the contest chair. So you want to be hand in hand with the contest chair. It is their contest, but you are helping them make that contest a success. So ask the contest chair to share the contest tracker. The contest chairs have already started filling in their contest tracker sheets. You would have to work with them to make sure that is completely filled. You have all of the roles filled out. So work with the contest chair as soon as possible to get started on that. This is another very important point, which is you as chief judge get to decide how long the meeting or the contest will be on pause if a contestant has technical difficulties. So if let's say I'm the contestant, and while speaking to you, my Wi-Fi drops, and it takes me about, let's say, 5 minutes to join back in, you can decide the max amount of time that the contest will be on hold, allowing me to figure out my issues and connect back. 10 minutes is usually a good amount of time that the chief judge discusses with the contest chair. And once you both have that finalized, the contest chair will also let the contestants know about that time limit. But you get to decide. If you say 5 minutes, then that's what will go. And that time should also be communicated to the timers so that they know how long to pause the meeting for and to let you know when that time has elapsed. The other really important document for you to look at is the email and the text templates. Here you have, if you think that you need to draft an email for any functionary, for whatever reason, it's all in here. So you don't have to do a lot of thinking about what information you need to pass on. Everything has been put in this document, and it also explains when you need to send the emails. And I'll go over that just after this checklist. So this also tells you, 2 weeks before the contest, this email should go out. 1 week or the week of the contest, this email should go off. The day before the contest, what you need to do. So just make sure you look through that as well as much as you can before the contest, or at least a couple of weeks before the contest. Very important to ensure all the functionary roles have been filled. The reason I've called this out, this is also in the email and text templates, is because we've noticed in the last couple of contest seasons that if we don't create these text groups with the judges and the ballot counters the day before and iron out any issues that you might have with the SMSing or the texting, then during the contest, while everybody is being briefed, that's one of the things that you'll have to be taking care of instead of briefing all of the other functionaries. So it's best to get that out of the way, ensure that you create a group text with each judge and the ballot counters the night before the contest. So let's say you have 5 judges and 2 ballot counters. You will have 5 group texts, and each group text will be for judge 1 and the 2 ballot counters, judge 2 and the 2 ballot counters, judge 3 and the 2 ballot counters, similarly for all 5, so that the judges don't talk to each other, nobody sees each other's ballots. It's only the ballot counters and you as a chief judge that can see the ballots. If a voting judge is not comfortable with texting, then email is probably the other option that might work. So make sure you create that email thread the day before with that judge and the 2 ballot counters. The day of the contest, really quick, the chief judge is going to, the contest chair is going to ask you, chief judge, are we ready for contest? And if you have made sure that all of the briefings have been complete, that the timing satellites have been cycled, that the contest chair has gone through all of the housekeeping rules with the audience, then you reply with, yes, we are ready. Because that, until you are given affirmative response, the contest cannot begin. So just keep an eye out for that. Spot check the timers, not it was something that was mentioned in the last couple of years, but if you want, just keep an eye out and ensure that proper timing is being followed. So in the breakout room, you will have, after the speeches are complete, the contestants have spoken, the chief judge, the judges, and the ballot counters will be moved into the breakout room. There should be no communication going on at the time. The judges can take as long as they need to complete and mark their ballots. The timers will send you their timing sheets via text. You would have also created that group text the night before. It's listed in the template. Now, some of the times, this is totally up to you. If you actually want the timing sheet in case everybody qualified, maybe you can communicate to the timers only if somebody is disqualified, then please let me know, and that's perfectly fine. Or if you probably want the timing sheet irrespective of the disqualification, you can totally do that. It's completely on your preference. Please always collect the tie-breaking judge's ballot. You notice that if you don't collect it and you only wait on it, if there is a tie breaker's ballot required, then that delays the ballot counting process. So just always collect it. This will only go to you. Only you know the tiebreaker, but you open it only if there is a tie during the ballot counting process. Once the judges have submitted the ballots, you've all confirmed in the text or via email that you have received that judge's ballot. The judges can leave the breakout room and they move into the main room. You would then look at the ballots, and if there are any protests, and we'll go through protests in a bit, but if there are any protests, then you would have to handle that specifically in a slightly, there is a process to handle protests, and we'll go through that. You open the tiebreaker's judge ballot only if there is a tie. So this is something new that we're trying out this year. You as the chief judge are going to be the co-host of the contest. So you share the screen, and there is, I was supposed to link the Excel here. That's my bad. I will link it. I know it's linked at a couple of different places, but there's an Excel sheet that we've created that is right here. This Excel sheet very simply lists the speaker names here. You would replace the names of the speakers and the judges over here. And it then totals up whatever points you enter here. So you will share that Excel sheet. You will update the speaker names. Then both of the ballot counters will read and confirm the results from each judge's ballot as you scribe the points in the Excel sheet. So you will actually be putting in the points. So the ballot counters will be going through all of the ballots that have been received, and they'll tell you Judge 1 has Speaker 2 as in the winning position, so they'll get 3 points. And all of this is described. The ballot counters have those instructions in their counting sheet as well of how you point them. But the first place gets a 3 point, and according to Judge 1, the second place is Speaker 4, so 2 points, and Speaker 6 is the third place, so 1 point. So you just go ahead and scribe based on what ballot counters 1 and 2 read out to you. They'll read this information out to you. You rotate the roles and ensure both the ballot counters are completely in sync, because they are the ones that have to give you the absolute green signal that whatever points that are listed here are the correct totals for each of the speakers. It's completely the duty of the ballot counters to ensure that. Now, only if there is a tie at any place. So if there's a tie for the third place, that's when you open the tiebreaker ballot and you read out. You're the only one that gets it, not the ballot counters. You will read out the 3 positions of who they have in which spot. Then you will add those numbers on this list, and that will help break the tie. Once the scores are tallied, the chief judge will write all the results in the results form. So download that form, put in the results here. So you will click if there is a time disqualification that the timer would have notified you. You will put in, just please note this is the third place winner, second, and then the first. So ensure you put all of the information here correctly. Ensure the ballot counters give you their green signal as well as you put in this information. So share your screen. That's probably the best way to do it. Save it, and you should have discussed with the contest chair how you want to share this information with them, perhaps email or text, but you will send out this results form to the contest chair. Now, as the contest chair reads the results, your job is very important to keep your ears open. Let's say, and it has happened, so I'm going to bring it up. The contest chair might read it as first place winner, second place winner, and third place winner. So they might just swap this. And if you don't call out point of order and correct the contest chair before the announcement is complete, then whatever the contest chair has read, that is what will be the final decision of that contest. So you need to pay attention. You call out point of order, contest chair, please review the results before continuing with your announcement. And the contest chair can take a moment to correct their announcement. After it's complete, you need to email a bunch of forms. It's all listed here to everybody to ensure that your contest was run smoothly. You have all of the eligibility forms signed. You have the profile forms, everything that everything that has happened for this contest has been completed correctly. So this was your personal notes and guide for you to follow through the contest. Let's go through the email and text templates. So this is another PDF that you will find. Here you'll notice that there are a bunch of emails that the contest chair will email and the bunch of emails that you are responsible for sending out. So I'm not going to go through each, but I'll just point out. So if you click on the functionary email, excluding the judges, very important, it's listed here, judges should never be included in any communication with other volunteers. Nobody should know who the judges are except for you. And even the ballot counters know them as judge 1, judge 2, judge 3, judge 4. So ensure that there is no miscommunication where you send out that information, because that has happened several times in the last contest or last couple of contests. So you will send out everything in red needs to be updated by you. And the briefing. So this is very important. You should know this. The briefing for all of the volunteers happens 45 minutes. So if the contest is going to start at 2 p.m., then you ask all of your functionaries, your timers, ballot counters, judges, your sergeant-at-arms to join 45 minutes before the contest start time. So that would be, help me, so that's, if it's 2 o'clock, then by, my goodness, you're testing.
1:15.
1:15, everybody would need to start. Now, if some functionaries have not joined on time, the contest cannot start. So it's very important you let them know that they need to be there, because only after the functionaries have joined can the contestants be allowed to join. So they will not let the contestants into the into the main room until all of the functionaries have joined. So you'll have to be calling them up. We've done this several times. Call everybody up. Hey, can you please join on time? If you find that they haven't joined within a couple of minutes of that 45 minutes. You will update all of the text in red. You'll put in all of the information, because this is only for the timers, the ballot counters, the Zoom masters. This information you will also have from the contest tracker from the contest chair. So you'll find that you have several emails here. Another thing I want to point out, the chief judge will send out this email to functionaries 2 weeks prior to the contest. So you please observe this send text that will allow you to follow through. So again, the judges need to have an email 2 weeks prior. There's a bunch of information here. Judges need to sign some eligibility forms for you. Here are the ballots that the judges will need to download. Here are all of this. So all of the judges can know each other, I guess. So this is fine. Just ensure other people don't know about the judges. The judges absolutely have to read and sign this eligibility form. If it so happens that that person is a judge and they're not eligible because they fail one criteria of the several criteria listed there, that's a problem for your contest. So please ensure that they have signed it, they have read it, and ensure that they pass all of those. All right, and so it'll happen that the judges have not emailed you their eligibility forms before the contest. So this is the email that you send out to them if that's missing. I've also included a point here that the judges can let you know if group text is okay for them to share the ballot with you, or if they prefer an email. So just follow through with that as well. So you know what to do. You have all of these different templates for the tiebreaker, the ballot counter. They also have a link to their resources over here, the timing cards, and sergeant-at-arms. And here's the text. So you create a text the day before, 1 day prior to the contest, you will create a text. So for 5 judges, you'll have 5 group texts created. This is what you're going to put in a group text, and you please make sure that they confirm with you that they have received your message. so that you're not following through during the briefing the next day. You also do the same thing with the tiebreaker, but that's not a group text with the ballot counters. That's just you and the tiebreaker, one-on-one text, and just ensure that they have received the text, and that's how they will be submitting their ballot. But that's, and then again, another text with the timers. So both the timers and you will be on a group text, and you let them know ahead of time whether you want them to submit the sheet, or you just want them to let you know everybody qualified or somebody was disqualified. All right, so that was the email text and template. Next, I'm going to go over the briefing checklist. So as chief judge, you're going to brief, like I showed you during the email template, you're going to brief all of the functionaries about 45 minutes before the contest starts. So at 1:15, they would join for the 2 p.m. contest. Once they've ensured that you have all of your functionaries in the breakout room, you're going to brief each role at a time, and then you can dismiss them back to the main room as you're done with them. Sergeant at Arms. In this contest, we have evaluation as our second contest for our district. And for the evaluation contest, we need a Sergeant at Arms. The Sergeant at Arms basically is going to help monitor the breakout room while the evaluation contestants are making notes. So the way the contest is going to flow is, for evaluation contest, there'll be a test speaker that will deliver their speech, 5 to 7 minute speech. At the conclusion of that speech, the Sergeant at Arms, the timers, as well as all of the evaluation contestants will be moved into the breakout room. There, the timers will give them 5 minutes to prepare their evaluation notes. That's where the Sergeant at Arms comes into picture. They will monitor them. As soon as the 5 minutes are over, the timers will return to the main room, but the Sergeant at Arms is going to keep an eye on them. The contestants will have to keep their cameras on, fold all of their notes. So if there is text in the notes, they will fold their paper and put it aside for the Sergeant at Arms, so that they cannot be making any notes after the 5 minutes are done, and the Sergeant at Arms has to keep an eye on them. And as the main room will keep bringing, the Zoom master will keep bringing the contestants into the main room one at a time in their speaking order. Once the last one is done, Sergeant at Arms will also move into the main room. The Sergeant at Arms can now leave and go back to the main room. The briefing for the timers is a little bit elaborate this time because of the evaluation contest, but otherwise the timing will start at the first time that the speaker has made some kind of a gesture, and that's when the timing will start. There's always a minute of silence between speeches when the judges can mark their ballot. Now, this is where the technical difficulties that I spoke about, this listed here to go over it with the timer to ensure that they know what to do if a contestant is having some problems. We've highlighted the timings. So basically, the timer will just keep the signal as red if the contestant has gone beyond the max limit. So they're not going to say anything. The contestant is not going to be interrupted. They'll just continue speaking, but the timer will let you know in the timing sheet that that person was disqualified because of time if they went over 7 minutes and 30 seconds or 3 minutes and 30 seconds. So they will just circle that and let you know. For the evaluation contest, the timers will be moved along with the Sergeant at Arms. They will signal green at 3 minutes, yellow at 4, red at 5 in the breakout room to let them know that the time for their evaluation notes is complete. They will come back and they will display the green room so that the contest manager and the contest chair is notified that the evaluation 5 minutes of prep times are over. And then ensure that you have the group text created with both of the timers and the chief judge so that you can communicate. Now, timers, that's another thing that the chief judge, you also need to let them know that, let's say they told you that speaker 3 was disqualified for time, and let's say you and the ballot counters missed it, and speaker 3 was included as part of the winning list, then the timer has the opportunity to call in point of order, Madam or Mr. Contest Chair, to let them know that the speech times need to be reviewed. So that's when you, as a chief judge and ballot counters, will need to relook at all of your ballot counting, your Excel sheet, and ensure that you don't have speaker 3 as part of your ballot counting. So the timer still has that duty or the job to listen in for when the announcements are made, because if they don't call this, then speaker 3, despite being disqualified, is going to be announced as the winner. All right, so that is all for the timers, and then we'll speak about the ballot counters. Basically, they have a counters tally sheet that was emailed to them. After they're all complete, everybody will be moved into the breakout room. The judges will submit their ballots in either via text or email. So if there are any issues, any judges having an issue will remain silent until they are the only judge remaining, and then you can resolve that issue discreetly. Once all of the judges have been dismissed, that's when the chief judge, being the co-host of the Zoom contest meeting, will share their screen with the Excel sheet. Ballot counters 1 and 2 will read the ballot and then allow the chief judge to mark the Excel sheet. So it's still the ballot counters' duties to collectively agree on matching the results and bringing out the order of winners, even though we have the chief judge putting it all in the Excel sheet. Only if there's a tie, the chief judge will open the tiebreaker ballot. And the ballot counters also need to be listening in case some error was made during the announcement of the results. The ballot counters can also call in the point of order. All right, this is probably the most fun part. It's all theoretical knowledge, to tell you the truth, for us, for how to handle protests. Not many have occurred, but there have been a couple, really in the minority. But we all need to understand, as chief judge, what needs to happen if somebody lodges a protest. So when can a protest be lodged? If a contestant's speech, it needs to be, it could be lodged due to originality, or if there is a reference to another contestant's speech. So if the contestant's speech is not original for about 75% of their speech, now that's a very rough thing. So, you know, there is no cutoff of if they spoke for 7 minutes and, you know, about, I don't know, do the math, 25% of that has to be original. But if a judge feels that that was not original, you know, it was copied or referenced without giving due credit, then they might protest. Before the contest, every contestant has signed that form, just like the judges do. The contestants have signed that it is, you know, that they're eligible and that their speech will be original. Now, the important thing is contestants must not reference another contestant. So during the same speech, during the same contest. So for example, Area 3 contest is going on, and during the international speech, everybody's in the room, so everybody can hear each other's speech. If I am speaker 2, I cannot. Oh, I'm sorry. As speaker 2, I cannot refer to speaker 1's speech during my speech. So that's really important that they understand that. So the contestants are going to be told about this, but the judges, if they hear that, they can lodge a protest. Who can lodge a protest again? Is only the voting judges and the contestants. Audience members absolutely cannot lodge a protest. So if the judges miss out lodging a protest where it was correct, you know, it should have been, then there will be no protest during this contest. So that's really important to note. Any protest must be lodged with the chief judge and or a contest chair prior to the announcement of winners. So that's important. If the winners are announced, nothing can happen after that. Before a contestant can be disqualified on the basis of originality, the contestant will be given an opportunity to defend themselves. So if, let's say, a judge is going to make a protest, then they will mark their ballots as they think, you know, even if they want to protest against speaker 2, according to them, speaker 2 spoke really well and they are on position number 2, they will put speaker 2 there, but also write protest on it. And then the judge will find that on the ballot, create a breakout room with the contest chair, all of the judges, and the contestant will be given an opportunity to respond to the protest. a majority of and then all of the judges would get to vote if they all agree with the protest or not, and the majority will win. All decisions of the voting judges will be final. Very quickly, the last section now is to brief the voting judges. Voting judges should always be anonymous. They should focus on the contestant, not the timer. So even if the timer has a red background going on, you absolutely just ignore them. You focus on the timers. You focus on only the contestants, and you focus on marking the ballots based on the criteria listed on the ballot. The contest chair will provide you with the speaking order before, as soon as they have that from their briefing, you will notify your judges, your ballot counters, and your timers of the speaking order. Spell out the contestant's name so that everybody writes it down correctly, so that they can then put it correctly in the ballot. So ensure that all of the names are spelled out correctly. There is a 1 minute of silence, but at the end of the last speech, they can take as long as they need to finalize the ballot. They will judge both of the contests. So both of the contests will happen back to back on the same day, which is the international and the evaluation. And all of those voting judges will judge both of the contests. So in order for the ballot to be valid, and this has happened, if you put in all of your choices, first, second, and third. Of course, if there were just 2 speakers, then you would just put first and second. Ensure that the names are readable and clear. The spelling usually does not matter, but it's a good idea to ensure that you've given them the right names and that they've put in the right names. And it should be written clearly. And when I say you, I mean the judge must absolutely sign and print their name and put their judge number on the ballot. So ensure that all of the judges are aware of this. If they want to lodge the protest, they will write protest on the ballot, but they will still mark it with the right honors, even if the protest was lodged. When they finish marking their ballots, they will take a picture of only the bottom portion of the ballot. They will absolutely not share of how they have arrived at the winning list. They will just email you or text you the bottom part of the ballot, which is signed and has the winner names. The top portion of the ballot should be discarded by the voting judge. So this is what you will go over in your briefing with all of your functionaries during before the contest starts. So we've reviewed the emails, we've reviewed your notes. Take a moment to review the other resources in this folder for what the ballot counter is supposed to do. They have their ballot counting Excel sheet here, also their duties in a PDF. Same with the timer, same with the sergeant at arms. The email scripts are outside because they're shared with the contest chair, and you have both of your PDFs here. That concludes my presentation. Thank you, Lena.